Welcome to episode 8 of the Matt Review Royals podcast, recorded on April 17, 2016. Today, I have a recap of all the games this week, a player highlight on rising star Dusty Coleman, and any news from last week. Disclaimer for today's episode, I am very sick at the time of me recording this, so my voice is not good. But regardless, please take a swing at that like button and comment what you want me to talk about. Now, on to today's podcast. Games this week. A player highlight on rising star Dusty Coleman, and any news from last week. At the time of me recording last week's episode, I thought that this week's big game would be last Sunday, but it is not. Before we get there, let's talk about all the other games this week. On Sunday, Royals pitcher Volquez faced off against Twins pitcher Ricky Volquez. Volquez quickly got 7 strikeouts in 3 innings of work. Then, in the 6th inning, Mike Moustakas hit a home run. The Twins still lead the Royals 2-1. Then, Brian Dozier hits another home run. The Twins extend their lead 3-1. In the 9th inning, with Kane on first, Hosmer hits a triple past the left fielder. Then he is batted in on a sac fly. In the 10th, Gore pinch runs. A pickoff attempt gets past the first baseman, and Gore ends up on third. And the very next pitch to Kane is a wild pitch that gets away from the catcher. Gore scores, and the Royals win 4-3. On Monday, the Royals took a trip south in hope of extending their win streak to 4 games. Chris Young for the Royals and Colin McHugh for the Astros. The Astros quickly took a lead in the first 3-0. The Astros extended their lead in the fourth to 6-0. The Astros ended up winning 8-2. On Tuesday, the Royals showed Houston that they do have a problem with their defense. In the first, Kane hits a 3-run home run to put the Royals on top 3-0. Colby Rasmus hits an RBI, and then he scores. The score is now 3-2 Kansas City. Then in the 5th, Rasmus fails in his Apollo 13 mission to bring in 2 runners that are in scoring position. He strikes out. It was almost as bad of a fate as Sputnik was. Davis is able to keep the moon probe from exploding into an Astros win. 3-2 was the final score. On Wednesday, Houston's space program was again halted by the Royals defense. Ventura had an excellent performance with 6 innings, 0 earned runs, 4 hits. In the 6th inning, a throwing error allowed Kane to score and put Hosmer at third. Then Gordon is walked and Perez hits a sacrifice fly deep enough to score Hosmer. Now in the 7th inning, 2-0 KC leads. Hochevar gives up a hit, allowing the asteroids to crash onto the field, causing mayhem and making it a 2-2 ball game. Then, in the 9th inning, Perez hits his own dinger to make it a 4-2 game. The Royals win. Thursday's game is my game of the week. Ian Kennedy took the mound for KC. Mike Moustakas hit a home run in the bottom of the 1st. And then Kennedy also pitched a great game with a no-hitter through 5 innings. In the 6th, Hosmer drove in 2 runners. Then Morales drove in Hosmer. Then Gordo drove in Morales. Then Perez drove in Gordon. Escobar made a dinger catch where he ran into shallow center field to make a diving catch and then got up on one knee and threw to first for a double play. MLB has unfortunately copyrighted me whenever I include clips of plays, so I can't really do that anymore. But this was an all-around great game. I talked about last week, but when the Royals get going, they're not a home run hitting team. They obviously hit a home run in this game, but it's just hitting doubles and singles, like Morales, Hosmer, Gordon, and Perez all of those hits were doubles, back to back to back to back to back doubles. So yeah, that's just if they can get going. If they get their offense going, they'll just hit doubles and singles and triples and sometimes home runs. But that's just what gets the Royals runs. Dusty Coleman, number 43, is an American baseball player from South Dakota. Baseball was always an important part of his life. He played in grade school, high school, and college until he was drafted by the Oakland Athletics in the 28th round of the 2008 MLB draft. He was traded to the Kansas City organization in exchange for a few other minor league players. He made his major league debut in 2015, where he went 0 for 5. He is trained as a third baseman, but we could see him retrained as a first baseman in the years to come if a certain someone doesn't sign again when their contract is up. He currently plays in AAA Omaha, and Ned Yost is excited for him to develop and to come back to the majors. I have links to some videos below that involve Kansas City Royals. Kauffman Stadium was featured in a national Papa John's ad, and Salvador Perez's mom was in a Spanish baseball ad for MLB at Bat. Chris Young is still facing problems as he failed to make it past the 5th inning for the second consecutive start. I believe Danny Duffy could be a replacement for Young because a 5-man rotation is essential this early in the season to keep pitchers from getting tired. StatCast has, no pun intended, run the numbers for 2 Royals plays. Links to those videos are in the description. Lee Judge had an interesting article where he addressed the importance of getting the ball in play. If you have a runner on first and third with no outs, even if you hit the ball to second base, you either hit into a fielder's choice or a double play, but a run scores. The link to that article is in the description below. That's pretty much all the news I have for today. Now let's get back to the games of the week. Friday's game was a matchup between Volquez and Hill. Jackie Robinson Day struck as we remember the greatest moment for minorities in baseball. In the first, Kane drove in Escobar to make it a 1-0 game. In the third, Morales drove in Kane to collect his 500th career RBI. The Athletics combat this offense with their own in the fourth, when they decreased the difference to 1 to make it a 3-2 game. Soria was fortunately able to secure the bottom of the 8th with 3 up and 3 down, and Hosmer extends his hit streak to 6 games with a home run in the 9th for the 2 final KC wins. Thank you all for watching this week's installment of the Matt Review Royals podcast. I hope that you could all get past me failing to talk very well and sounding all congested and sick. Maybe there will be another episode of Dr. MLB MD coming out this week. That's a really fun series to do. But I hope that you all enjoyed. If you could hit that like button with a pine tar covered bat like George Brett, then that would be awesome. I should actually make a intro that I use instead of just talking, I don't know. Okay, well, if you enjoyed, see you next week. Bye. I forgot my own line that I already always use. Remember to be forever royal.